Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station with the only man I can safely say is Mr. OC, Johnny the Rocket.
Hey, welcome everybody again to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Senior Vice President John Gutierrez. And once again, I got to tell you, it's an honor to have this gentleman on our show. I'm going to be as brief as I can on his introduction because his resume is one for the ages. Mr. Andy Vargas is, of course, he's a musician. He's got a band. He's the lead singer for Carlos Santana band, which many of you is a legendary band. But most importantly, man, I was reading some of his history, and he's done some collaborations in music with people like Juanes, Maná, Chris Perez, Frankie J, the Black Eyed Peas, Beyonce, Enrique Iglesias, just to name a few. This gentleman is one of the great minds of music. Not only is he a great performer, but when I was reading his history, I just said, I'm so honored to have you on the show, Mr. Andy Vargas. Welcome.
Thank you, John. I'm humbled by what you just said, man. It just, listening to that in these moments in time, it overcomes me, hearing, all those things. But I have nothing but gratitude, to wake up every morning and another opportunity, and now to share, what my experience is.
And he started off with somebody from my era, Doris Day. You don't even remember who the great actress Doris Day was. Rock Hudson, Doris Day. Her son was a huge
all that.
music producer.
I know Paul wants to get into the history of it,
yeah.
which says a lot about how long you've been in music at the age of 15, when you were discovered, right? But before we go into that, I just want to make sure everybody also stays tuned, because we're also going to talk about some great things he's doing with his foundation, the Andy Vargas Foundation. And he's also, of course, the CEO of Vargas Entertainment, which is also the other is Malas Palabras Records, right?
Yes.
Which is, you're the president of that.
Yes.
And I know you're doing some stuff with your business partner, George Lopez, right?
Yes.
A famous comedian, actor, has great shows on TV. So we're going to talk about all that. But I just wanted the
George
audience.
is welcome in here anytime, or cool. Carlos, either one. Right?
Yes. But I want to go and get into the history of how you were discovered at 15. Most of the time we have guests, we ask them to tell us a story about when they were growing up. Tell us a little bit about that, man, if you don't mind sharing that.
That's all right. In a nutshell, I was born and raised in Watsonville, California, the Central Coast, and I went to Watsonville High, and I grew up singing with my dad in his mariachi band.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your dad's a big mariachi guy, right?
Yeah. And lots of people that were in his band had left and came over here to start some pretty big mariachis. So there was a core of some great mariacheros, that came from the time that my dad was really at his peak, and out. He came from Mexico to LA. Recorded records, played with Mariachi Vargas. For
those of you that don't know who Mariachi Vargas is, they're one of the top mariachis out there, right? Their history is amazing. Yeah. I heard them sing for the first time, I want to say about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you guys, it's like going to the symphony and hearing an orchestra sing in a mariachi. Yeah. When you hear Vargas sing, it's just like another level, right?
Incredible.
So for you to be around that at a young age, you got to hear and see like something at another level.
100%. And then my dad would have me around, and then as soon as he could, he would start presenting me as "Ese es mi hijo."
Ese es mi hijo.
And
That's right.
And so I started, with the sombrero and the traje, and I go out and I start singing, some leads and things like that, and eventually, played guitar, and just loved it. Went out to the rodeos and the festivals and things, and my dad. I love him so much. He, wanted to put his love into his kids, my brother and I, and my mom. And, my mom worked at Wells Fargo Bank She just retired, 49 years as a branch manager at Wells
Shout out
Fargo
to
Bank.
Mom.
And that's interestingly enough how I met those who introduced me to the grander music business. But you know, my dad wanted to stay home. He wanted to be home, and he knew the life of an entertainer and how that took him everywhere. And he made the decision to pour into his children. And that for me was everything, because it gave me an opportunity. I had my dad around to look at and watch and be my mentor. You know, not a lot of kids have that opportunity
You're
to
right.
really watch their parents. You know, my mom was in the office all the time. She worked, but she worked to give me a better life. And the same thing with my dad, except my dad, with an entertainer's career, he had a little bit more flexibility, right? He had a little bit more flexibility to be around a little bit more. And you know, my grandmother, who recently passed away, you know, kind of raised me and on the mother's side of things. But thanks to my dad, who was around, and so I was just around music all the time. And you know, later on, you know, I got into, you know, not just, you know, our cultural music and, you know, Hispanic music of all sorts, you know, all the great, you know, songwriters and singers, you know, Jose Jose, Javier Solis, Vicente Fernandez, Luis Miguel, you know, Lola Bertran, you know, like, and so, all, you know, all these, you know, vocalists that I just fell in love with, that then I couldn't not love, like Michael Jackson and like Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, finding albums of Tower of Power, and, you know, like just these, you know, the funk and soul. I was drawn to that, which led me then into, you know, hip hop, you know, and R&B, and, you know, that slow love making R&B. And,
Who?
you know,
Name some names. What did you like growing up?
well, R&B, you know, like, you know, I grew up with like Keith Sweat.
That's
you
right,
know,
Keith Sweat.
You know,
Those were the days.
I loved like Slick Rick.
That's right, Slick
You
Rick.
know,
Yeah.
like I loved that real big bass, that 808 bass beat stuff, you know, where they're rapping and singing on top, you know.
I love Slick Rick growing
You know,
up, man.
Warren G,
Yeah.
you know, these guys, some of the, you know, Ice Cube,
Yeah.
you know, like, and so, you know, and then obviously Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, and these, you know, these.
So you liked a little bit of both then. You like kind of like
100%.
the young people, but then you also you have like an old soul, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something that, would you say your dad passed that on to you, right?
Oh, 100%.
That respect and for the old souls in the music industry. Right?
How can you connect? How can you be a young, you know, musician and artist and connect and feel those? Some people listen to that music and it passes over their head. Other people, like my little one, like my son, and like myself, it penetrates me. You know, I'll leave emotionally changed from that moment in time, which is, I'm so grateful that I can do that, you know, because I could hear everything that was done in the recording and just receive it all, from the message to everything like that. Music has that power.
That's interesting you just said that, because I had a moment like that in my life as a father a couple years ago, when we were in a family barbecue in the backyard, and we had like a little fire there. And my son Jonathan is sitting there with the guitar, playing Johnny Cash, and I didn't know he knew this song. Right. And he's like jamming to it, and he's singing it to my father-in-law, who, rest his soul, he's passed away already. And I have this video on my Instagram, and I posted it as a guitar on fire. And the reason why is because he's playing Johnny Cash, and you can see the fire reflecting on his black guitar, right? And it was just such a cool video. And I'm recording it, and he was like, I want to say maybe like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old at the time, maybe 12. And I didn't know he had learned this. And he learned it on YouTube. And he also learned it through my nieces and my nephews, who kind of taught him how to play the guitar. It wasn't me. I didn't teach him how to do that. And as a father, like what you're talking about, that pen, it hit me deep, man. I watched that video today, and I get emotional. I get teary because my father-in-law sitting next to him, and he's singing this music to him, and it's Johnny Cash, and you're watching this little kid like singing old soul music. You know what I mean? So I hear what you're saying, brother.
That's the magic. That's the magic, and it'll take you back to that time. You'll see deeper. You'll cut through all the the BS of the surface level things that our minds are trained to be and live in life, and get you deeper into that realm. And does he play guitar still?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, obviously, he got into high school playing high school football, like you and I have been talking about, because you live
That's
out in
great.
that area in Irvine.
Yeah.
You played at Northwood High School football.
Yeah.
So he's a senior now, but every once in a
He's a
while,
senior,
I
okay.
walk by his room and he has a door closed, and I hear him.
And you hear him playing,
like
yeah.
playing. He has a passion. He loves it. You know.
It's the most therapeutic thing you could do, man. Like Carlos, told me one time, he says, man, gosh, because there was some drama going on and stuff. And he says, all we need sometimes is to find one new chord in the day, and everything's okay. It washes everything away, and that's okay with us, because that's the gift we have. And he was kind of sending me a message like, we're lucky. And then also we get to get up and perform and just wash all the drama off, and then after, you just feel like fresh, renewed.
I always wanted to ask someone like yourself, as a performer,
Yeah.
when you're on that stage and you're performing, and I've seen some of your videos, and I can't wait to see you one day in person. Like, I see how you're into it, right? And how, what is that like for you to be up there? Like you're saying, is it therapeutic for you? Like,
Yes.
When you're all done, and I mean, I remember it kind of like when I played football, when I was a running back, and
Yeah.
it was
In
like,
the moment.
right? There's the before, and then the during and the
Yeah.
after, right? There's
Yeah.
like you're getting zoned to go into the game. It's game time, right?
Yeah, I was really lucky because I had kind of like the seed for it, right? The seed was already planted. It was already growing. I had my antennas up, and I was ready. I was a sponge, ready to receive. And then I had a mentor like Carlos Santana, I grew up in the band. I grew up in the band, and so like all the ups and downs, all the turns and stuff, and the maybe almost falling off stage, and maybe almost doing this, and maybe almost, it's just as much work off stage as it is on stage. You have a good day, your show's going to be good. It's like you take care of yourself, you do right. You don't take care of yourself, you rock it out, then you're going to suffer at night, suffer the next day or suffer the next show. All of these things, but what is it like? It's like when you're in that moment, it's almost like a pitcher, pitching and with all eyes on him, like breathing, knowing that you're in that moment, but knowing, greater things to think about, so you can hold and control that moment, rather than sometimes some people giggle out of it. Some people get nervous and like, whoa, there it is, and boom, and then it's gone. It's like the actor, getting into role, but as an artist, you can act through the song, or you can almost just be yourself in the song too, and say, find a time where it's affected you in your life, or something as like it, right? And to be believable in that respect is to really just own that moment. And so I love it, and we're human. We aren't always the best. We're human, but we accept that too, and accept flaws, man. I mean, I've had some moments where I was just like, what the heck am I doing? What's next?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then something comes and boom, gets me right back on, and so gratefully, those moments, I've been able to, to get out of them quickly, but that we're human, and like Carlos would always tell me, don't think twice, because if you think about it twice, then you'll think about it 3 and 4 times. Sometimes you can't get out of the thought.
Yeah.
Move on. Don't think twice about it.
I like to compare that a little bit to, like, the other day I was listening. I grew up playing basketball a lot too, right?
Yeah.
I used to go to the SANTANA Boys Club.
Yeah.
And for me, that was therapeutic. When all the kids left to go swimming at the pool,
Yeah.
at the high school down the street, I would go into the gym and just shoot the ball all day. And the athletic director would come in and be like, you don't want to go to the pool? You don't want to go swimming with all the kids? And I'm like, no, I'm good. What people didn't realize is my dad was an alcoholic. I was going through a lot in my life. For me, it was therapeutic to be in the gym.
Yes.
Shooting all day.
Yes.
Just shooting. I loved
Yes.
shooting, right? And like a shooter's touch, you
Yes.
get cold and suddenly you're hitting bricks,
Yes.
but you keep shooting, and suddenly you start feeling it again, and you get on fire, just like Steph Curry, right?
Yes.
Like he can go 0 for 11 for 3 quarters, and on the 4th quarter he's on fire, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that happens to you as a musician?
100%.
As an artist, like
Yeah.
like you just said right now, you could be off, but you keep going, you keep shooting.
Yeah.
And before you know it, boom, you're back on track.
Yeah, no, it's the exact same thing. It's
Okay.
the exact same thing. You're able to, sometimes I feel I'm at my most comfortable state on stage, or the time before, to the meditation before, to then get on, to then even the 10 minutes after, like I receive, you got to like accept and receive all of those moments, man, because they're amazing, and being able to, to shoot, all day. You know what I used to do? Because I played for my high school team as well, and I was a QB. So I would just throw. I would just like forever. And you know what's funny is my little boy and I and my oldest and my brother. That's all, when we're at home. You know what we do?
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
Let's go out and throw the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'm doing
we
that
go
with
out.
my younger boy right now. He's an 8th grader.
Oh, yeah?
He wants to be a quarterback next year.
Oh man, we got to get
yeah.
our kids together. My son's
Yeah.
still 8 years old,
Okay.
but he can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I got him
Nice.
throwing a spiral.
Nice.
You know, with bigger
Keeping
balls,
the elbows
smaller.
above water. I tell my
Elbows-
son.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because my brothers were quarterbacks, so I learned. I was
Yep.
a running back, but I
Okay.
learned from them
Yep.
how they would just stand on the streets of Santana.
Yeah.
On the streets and just throwing the ball, and
Yeah.
the football would get all tore up when it would hit the ground. You know?
Yeah, totally.
So it was almost like, don't throw a bad throw because you're gonna mess up our nice football.
I make, if I may say, I make my son go get it. I say, all right, let's go.
Vámonos.
Yeah, and he's like, oh God, Dad.
Yeah,
So hey, you know, and every time I'm like, hey, were you thinking on that? You know, why did you throw it over here?
Focus, yeah.
Did you where'd your mind go right there? You know?
Yeah.
And so that's the training right
Yes,
there.
sir.
Right? That's the training.
Amen, man.
And who would have known? You know, when he played soccer, he they put him at goalie, and he had hands. and I never played soccer myself. I wasn't a soccer player. I was a ball player, basketball player.
Catching all the footballs.
Catching all the footballs.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't afraid of a round ball when
Yes.
this
Yeah.
wobbly ball came at
Yes,
him. He was
sir.
able to like knock it down. I mean, stubbing fingers, you know, and
Yeah.
stuff. And so, man, it's so cool, man. I love
But
sports.
this is what you want to teach, from my understanding, or you're doing already this with your foundation, right?
100%. The concepts of mentorship, utilizing, you know, music as therapy, as you know, confidence building, and just doing what I love. You know, if you already have an itch for it, if you already love music, then you know, this is songwriting. You know, is a beautiful opportunity to do so. I had to really search deep in the many years that I've had the foundation, and our incentives and our goals, you know, yearly, what they were, you know, and I found myself, you know, in naturally doing this kind of stuff. And I had different advice and taking the foundation this way and doing this and that. And I followed, you know, others, you know, other board members' ideas and stuff, until I said, you know what, like, I really need everyone to really, you know, come in and support me with my incentives, or I just can't do this anymore, you know? And so here we are. And I'm so very grateful that, you know, I have a songwriting camp now. With the foundation, I've done college scholarships because, you know, I feel like, hey, you know, let's go reach for that. Like, I mean, when I was in high school, you know, I kind of did it. I kind of, you know, went for that. But I want to, you know, show that you need an education, you know, and you can, this can support you alongside your education, or let's get educated in this and find out the different ways of being able to actually create a revenue from music, you know, from all the different aspects. So, you know, our foundation specializes in college scholarships and music programs. So the programs surrounding music is what I'm building. And I'm a new resident of Orange County, fairly new. This will be my 3rd year here, you know, from Los Angeles, you know, and then originally from Watsonville. But, you know, I kind of cut my teeth in Los Angeles. And then I came over here to raise a family and to further my career in the foundation, you know. And so I've been grateful to meet some great people. You know, I've got an amazing building out here in Irvine. I met amazing person, you know, Martin. He's you know, him and Rick, they own this building, and they came in and they opened the door to my dreams and visions, you know. And so we've started to develop my program, Sounds of New Generations. And our first program will be with the county of Riverside, the 5th district in the county of Riverside. And how that is happening is, this is a song camp, you know, and so we're doing this on the weekends.
Nice.
And so, you know, parents involvement, and also we will have a busing system to busing kids for those that, you know, that want to do this kind of thing, that want to get together with other kids, other peers, and an industry professional, write a song or many songs, and record, and then present it in a presenting setting, and then also be able to therefore after learn to how learn the business surrounding it, you know, publishing, writing, master rights, you know, sync licensing, the difference between, you know, sync licensing and mechanical licenses, and things like that, things that really make a difference, you know, to then be able to own your music and then put that into, you know, into movies and television and radio and things, and those kind of things are like, then we need to meet those kinds of people, and then that's what, that I have so many friends in the relationships in the music business, and then also then, like, for example, meeting people like yourself and Paul. It's like we open doors through our friendships and relationships, and we're a bridge to those kids that we work with. So this program is an opportunity for me to connect to those kids and find out who they are, or else we'd never know, right? And this is not $1 out of their pockets, man. You know what I'm saying? Not $1 out of their pockets. They come and to us, and we put on this program, and then we go from there. And if we get online, see where they're at, and this is our information and our data that we get, per student, and then God willing, we could follow them and continue to encourage them and hear the stories, and share those stories. I did this program once in San Bernardino at the City College, and we started and we didn't continue. We started and everyone wanted us to continue, but it was kind of seasonal. This time, we're not going to stop. We're starting in January, and it's not going to stop. It's going to happen every month, and God willing, until.
I think obviously I know why you're doing it, but why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Well, you mentioned something, and I'll tell you a quick story. I'm also an alcoholic, and I'm 10 years sober. And
congratulations, man.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you, man. And in my sobriety, and it's just, you just got to cut dry and just say it, bro.
Yeah.
I have no issue anymore with anyone in their alcohol anymore. I just don't have a relationship with it myself. And that's just it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay not to, and just as well as there's a facade around it, it's okay not to, and so when I decided that, then I knew that I needed to be of service, and I realized this rule: you got to give it to keep it, man. And so when I started doing that, then I did things for other reasons. And you know what? I just started getting really busy, and I just wanted to be more and more of service, help others, other people going through problems. Because some people are just like, man, I can do it, but I can't. I want to, but then they end up right back in the same place and stuff. And sometimes they just need that mentorship. But how am I going to say anything if I'm in the same place?
I got to tell you, man, as I want to thank you first and foremost for seeing that in your life and recognizing it, because as a kid growing up and having a father who was an alcoholic all his life, I always wish my dad would have saw that. I always wish he would have, and even though, you and I have a mutual friend, Santos, who is one of my linemen in football. Yeah. And a lot of my friends and family members would not like friends of my teammates, whatever, they would, hey, where's your dad? Why does your dad come to the games? I was scoring all these touchdowns and everything, and I didn't want my dad there because he was drunk. Yeah. And I didn't want him there because I was embarrassed. Yeah. And even though I love my father and everything he taught me of hard work and on all these things, I just didn't want him there while he was like this, right? Sure. So I want to commend you, man, because it's so easy to fall off, right? Like especially in the world you're in, entertainment and everything you do. So just kudos, man. That's awesome that you've changed your life, and you're focusing. I love that you're doing mentorship. Yeah. Because those kids were kids like me that needed it. Like mentorship is so important.
I give God the glory.
Amen, man.
I'm grateful.
Amen, brother.
And the mentors that mentored me through. Yeah. I don't want to take the special moments and the magic away from those that love to enjoy a drink at home and all this kind of things. But there's something different. There's something different in the blood and the genes of some that just have an allergy to it, man. And I had very close members of family members of mine that I love so much. And I just, my godfather was just the most amazing human being, and I loved him so very much, and God bless his soul and his spirit, may you rest in peace, but he wrote a lot of the Catholic, songs, and I didn't know how deep he was in it, but he wrote a lot of the Catholic, songs that you sing in church in Spanish, bro. Wow. And I still go into church here, and anywhere, and I'll go and I'll look and I'll read it, and I'll be like, wow, there's his name, but he had a battle. Yeah. And so, for those souls and spirits, there's a chance, and you know, if we could pass on the message, and I had the opportunity of doing that and seeing people's lives transform. So then I'm like, wow, you know, and so that continued to grow to then music, where then I was able to have a new relationship with my music.
That's awesome.
Right. You know, and be able to connect to those moments and capture those moments and be like, oh, this is how I can get there without having to go and have, you know, a drink or this or that to get to this place. Right. You know, because that's a quick way to do it. Right. Or to escape. Right. And this moment of escape. But how about owning the moment? How about controlling the moment and being present, you know, and showing how to win that way?
Yeah. Well, I got to say, man, I know Paul's giving me the stinky eye.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes. First and foremost, for anybody out there wanting to get involved with your foundation,
man.
Go to your foundation website.
Yeah, we got things set up and pretty much updated. We'll have a full update very, very soon. The ANDYVargasFoundation.org and our Andy Vargas Foundation Instagram as well. We have all the information there where you can support. And right now we're working with the county of Riverside, and I'm so grateful to Supervisor Gutierrez for the support that he and his office and believed in me to do this. And so thank you, Supervisor Gutierrez.
Shout outs to him.
And to, you know, now we're going out to Moreno Valley, the high school. So we're now out recruiting. So this is a great moment in time right now for me, awesome. And then, you know, we'll be able to expand, God willing, to other counties.
Orange County, man. Yes.
Orange County is where, you know, that was my dream, was to reach out to like Santa Ana. I'm like, man, I'm like right next door. Literally, I'm 2-minute drive.
I'm a Santanera. I was born and raised there, so we're gonna make it happen.
Let's, you know, that's what I want to do, and we're so close, you know. But I needed to get it going, and it's really hard, man. You know, coming from LA to come here and to get your feet wet, to get your you know your branches out there and let people know that you're present, you know. And so I think actually Mitch Siegel from you know, from the chamber, you know, I initially connected with him, and you know, and Denise Gutierrez, I don't know if you know Denise, she connected me with Mitch, and then you know, we did an event I performed, you know, that's where the Vargas Entertainment side of things is. I perform, you know, and
this is your partnership with George Lopez, right?
So Vargas Entertainment is basically, you know, my company. I provide sound and event you know, production and things for my events. So it's not just my band. I have a great band. I love, you know, my band members, you know, Joe Mendez and Clever Alvarado and Philip Ortiz, all these amazing guys. Seatown Horn, shout out to you guys. These guys are students that are great horn players in our band. We play at Spaghettini here in Seal Beach. We play this Friday, and also on the 30th of December. Then every month. I'm
trying to get them to come to our toy drive. I'll work on that off the show.
well, we would love to, man. So we show up, we do everything. We show up, we provide all that stuff, and because I figured, you know, I wanted things done myself, even video and LED walls, and we tie it all in. So it's really cool stuff. Now my collaboration with George Lopez, Malas Palabras Records, man, that's been just the most amazing experience. You know, George is great friends with Carlos and myself, and so, you know, I went to him. I go, man, you got to have a record label, man. You know, like all this stuff, and I'm getting frustrated with the scene and how things are going, you know, turning digital and this is stuff. And he goes, man, you should be the CEO of the label. And so we started working together, collaborating, and now, you know, I'm just full throttle. And so we're helping building marketing packages, distributing music with artists and things, and, you know, supported by George and his team. And he's about to, you know, we're about to like take it to the next level, starting the Jukebox series. I'm releasing my own music through it. You can check it out at Malas Palabras Records at YouTube. Just go at Malas Palabras Records, and so see that kind of connection. I needed that to be able to have that active. You know, we've got these amazing distributions with United Masters and SoundCloud and stuff to access and provide to the kids.
Yes, sir.
Because we got some that we'll light up, but not just in a nonprofit way. We'll put them in a professional level.
Yes, sir.
And so being able to do that is what I wanted to do. So thank you, George. I love you so much, you know, for everything and all the support.
I got to ask one question.
Yeah.
Are you doing it on vinyl? Are you one of these people trying to revive vinyl?
Oh, that's great.
Vinyl. That's cool.
I'm building my vinyl room for this. It's a songwriting vinyl room because I have so many vinyl. And yes, we're starting to do the Jukebox series. As we release the, like, maybe the 8th one or even the 6th one, we will do a vinyl press.
You know, Paul, I almost feel like we have to, like, a fundraiser for his foundation is you get to come and
spin
take a tour.
records.
You get to tour this whole place, and people make a donation to your foundation.
That would be amazing,
and they get to see all the stuff you've done and the history, right? and they
Yes.
get to
And
learn.
they should get to spin.
Right?
I'm telling you, I grew up as a kid and then later as a DJ in the early
Spinning
70s
vinyl,
and
right?
80s. Spinning vinyl, holding
Yes.
back, backing it up and then letting it go.
Paul was DJing. Wow.
I was DJing, and then we moved into disco, and we were doing live spins and stuff here. And
we'll talk about something like that. We got to have you come back.
John, I would love that.
We'll do like a
Yeah.
fundraiser where people can get to come and tour it, right?
And then you know what, we'll have like little DJ or little DJ
Yeah.
session set up so you can do it on your
That's
own.
right.
But I gotta say, Paul, this was my dream to have how you have it here, because you could tell, man, you spend a lot of time here. And in my room, I had a little radio station where I have kids come in. I have like samplers, man. I was almost like the guy, back like from breakdancing that had like the cassette player, the record player,
Yeah.
the mixer.
Let's start doing the breakdancing.
Making
Yeah.
loops, I did this with my cousins.
That's
you know,
right.
they can't see the mad scientist table over here where I've got everything.
You
He
guys
comes
can't
in and he
see-
says,
you
"You got
guys
this?"
can't
I
see
said,
Paul's
"Yeah,
stuff
I got
over
one of
there.
those.
Yes,
I got
yeah.
one of those.
What-
I got way too much stuff in
What
here."
they didn't see, what you didn't see on the show is when Andy walked into the studio, he was just like
engineering
him,
room,
and,
yeah.
him and Paul were just like talking all this technology and all the setup, right?
Paul, you have to come to my space next.
I'd love to.
Okay, cool.
I'd love to.
Cool.
wait,
because
I don't get to go.
oh, come on, no.
We're going to
dude,
spin
of
records
course.
and we're going to talk tales.
Oh
and
man,
we're
you
gonna-
should see. I've got the Technique 1200s. I got the loopers.
Wait,
I
no,
got
no Servant Vegas from back in the days.
I have Servant Vegas
No
too,
way,
bro.
you do.
Pioneers, Servant Vegas.
My brother had some of those. The Servant Vegas.
Yeah, with the pink lining
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Oh man,
He used to play Computer Love all the time on his
Computer
little DJ
Love. Let's
system.
go, Miami bass,
yes,
bro.
Yes, Computer Love.
Come on,
Yeah.
back to bass and all
I'll
that
bring
stuff.
I'll bring over one of my. I'm sure I still have it. I have thousands of records.
All these
at
young
home.
people are like, "What's
I'm sure I
Computer
got-
Love?"
I'm sure I got some original Santana albums
Right,
from the
right.
70s.
Everyone's sampling those records, you know
Are
what
they?
I'm saying? People,
Yeah.
people are sampling.
It's coming
those
back,
records.
huh?
It's coming,
Right.
yeah, because now they're making sampling a little bit easier. It still costs money to sample
Yeah.
records, but then you could just, sample it and then, AI it, flip it into your own and all this
and
stuff.
then get sued.
Well, actually, AI is so good right now.
Oh.
You could do it and flip it into your own and not get
It's
sued.
crazy.
Because they
crazy.
change it just a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of
Wow.
messed up.
I feel bad having to end the show because man,
We're
we,
just getting
we
started.
could be here for days, but I know the show's usually 30 minutes. We've gone over it, but listen, folks, please leave a message, leave a comment. Let us know if you want to get involved, make a donation.
And
to
where's
this
the foundation again? One more time.
So,
Foundation.
our foundation, AndyVargasFoundation.org is
Okay.
where you can go to get all the information there. Manas Palabras Records.
And it talks about all the things you do with the money and how you help kids in the
Oh,
community and
100%. Talks
everything.
about our
great
programs.
mentorship program.
It shows some
Yes.
of our recipients and by the way, we'll be giving scholarships to Southern California. So I'm going to the high schools now. Maybe John, you can help me to go to the Orange County high
Yeah,
schools.
he's big on that.
And so-
Superintendent of Santa Ana is my good friend.
Oh, there we
so
go.
I
He
can
knows
connect
everybody. He
you. I
knows
sit on his
everybody.
board for the community,
Okay.
like community leadership board.
Great.
So I'll connect you with him.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen in Santana, and right here in Orange County.
Beautiful.
Before you go, I just want to read this really cool thing I found online. It says, Andy Vargas, if Santana is the king of Latino rock and soul, then Andy Vargas is the Prince Hair to Latino soul music in the U.S. I mean, and I can go on and on, right?
The Prince Air, not the hair.
I mean,
The-
air.
the
I'm sorry.
Air, right.
Air. Sorry, I'm Latino. You know how it is,
The
Paul,
Prince Air.
right? So I just want to say, man, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
And I mean, Watsonville. I mean, you put Watsonville on the map.
Hey man, there have been some great, amazing people that have come from Watsonville, and it's I feel like this like we're everywhere, and so shout out to everyone from Watsonville, and doing big things. There's some big, I mean, just it's
But Watsonville's a
amazing.
small.
Very small community,
It's a
bro.
farming
I have
community,
fraternity
isn't it?
brothers
Yeah,
that are from
right.
Watsonville. I went
Yeah.
to Chico State, like I was telling
Yeah.
you off the air, and it's farmers community,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So
And Santa Cruz, we got some great, Santa Cruzians that like have done some amazing things. I mean, that have done things you would have never known. You'd never know the agriculture businesses that how big they are coming from us.
is your dad still around?
My dad, praise God, he's still around.
We would love to have your dad come on the show one day.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
You come back with him.
Yeah.
And let's tell his story.
But
Yeah.
he's got to do some music.
Some
He's
music,
still-
sure.
I think
Yeah, he always has his guitar ready to
I'll
go.
bet.
we would love that, right, folks? I mean, everybody.
We'll mic him up.
Because it's so beautiful to go back, and the fact that your
Yeah.
dad is still on is great.
Yeah.
He was your mentor, your first mentor.
Have you
right?
guys tuned him into what's the Mariachi Academy that's getting launched here?
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. Paul, we got to move on.
But I mean,
That's cool because we can collaborate
Yes,
and we can show
yes.
them recordings and stuff to the Mariachi Academy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, we almost pre-COVID, the Andy
Yes.
Vargas Foundation was going to be the Mariachi Academy pre-COVID,
Yeah.
but then COVID happened
Right.
and the pandemic and
Changed
stuff and changed
everything.
everything. So I just took it online and we shifted and we made things happen and kept things alive. And so now any type of music we could bring in, but as a mariachi musician, I always go immediately. Like I sang the national anthem, not too long ago for the Aztec Awards,
Nice.
over, in at the Novo Theater in LA. And,
he says it so
I
casually.
was-
I know.
I just sang the,
Like it's no big deal.
I sang in my shower
That's big,
yesterday.
man.
I was
That's
able
big,
to
yeah.
announce for Costello de la Rocha,
Yes.
his his award. I was able
Yeah.
to sing with Los Lobos, the national anthem. And
Nice.
so the first thing I do is we go to mariachi, bro, when we did it in mariachi style.
Yeah.
You know.
Costello de la Rocha, talking about Ultimate?
Yes.
Yes, I was with him a couple of months ago.
See, he
We
knows
were
it.
at one of his so we're helping his foundation also.
Yes.
We're supporting his foundation and they're looking to bring back their foundation like music, art and everything here to Orange County.
Yeah,
again.
his
Yeah.
art collection is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Yeah, I didn't know that until
Yeah.
I was at this event and other people started telling me his passion for
Yes.
art. So yes. So you sang at when he received that award, huh?
Yeah, so
Wow.
I announced him.
Oh, you announced
Yeah,
him?
for Costello,
Nice.
and then also performed with Los Lobos. I mean, that for me was like, man, I grew up with La Bamba, bro.
Yeah.
I grew up with the blues.
And will the wolf survive? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Oh
one?
man. Like, so to be on stage with these guys and I know they know Carlos well, and stuff like that. But me, I was just humbled. I'm like, they're laughing and shit, and they're like, man, why are you so quiet? I go, I just can't believe I'm here.
Wow.
In this room with you
We
guys
can't believe
right
you're
now.
here. So thank you for coming.
What's interesting how he just says like Carlos, like no
Yeah,
big deal.
Car-
We're talking about Carlos Santana, like the legend, right? But he grew up with them. You were
Yeah.
at a young age already with them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So-
we have a year in Vegas. Everybody come and see
Let's
us.
go.
I see it at
Rocking
the
out
House of Blues or
at the
something?
House of Blues in Las
Okay.
Vegas, starting back up in January. We just closed out this year and we ripped it, man. I mean,
Let's get a bus and
there's-
go,
there's
John.
sold-
Let's get
Hey,
a
let's
sold
get
out
a bus and go.
shows.
Let's
it's,
go.
Then we played with some amazing groups throughout the year, and we toured, and man, what an amazing
You've
tour.
been blessed, man.
We were
Yeah,
like, it's almost like Supernatural, Carlos's big record.
that's right.
It's almost like Supernatural
How,
again.
how old is Carlos? Can we say that?
Yeah, he just turned 77.
Okay.
Same age as my dad too, so like I always keep it on target. You know what I mean?
And his nephew was on our show.
That's what I was
Oh,
going to say.
Adam
Adam
Lasher.
Lasher.
I love
He's
Adam.
he's performed at Estrella Awards.
Yep.
A few times.
Yep.
We gave him an award one
Oh,
year.
that's so cool.
Adam's been on the show here. He played the guitar. It was really cool. I have the video of it when he sang here. So maybe we'll talk about having you and Adam sing
little
at Estrella
jam.
Awards
A
or
little
something
jam or
together with your
something.
band.
That
or
would be
something.
great.
That would be at our big Estrella Awards, which is in
Yeah.
April 12th, I think it is.
Got a shout out to Counting Crows. That's who we toured with. Counting Crows.
Counting Crows,
Nice.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Counting Crows. We did a big tour this year. It was phenomenal, the amount of people that were at our show.
Wow.
Oh, because it's Santana.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, Andy, for being on their show. And I knew being on this show today with you, there would just be so much knowledge and so much good
Oh,
information.
man, I need to learn from you.
No,
That's the truth. I really
we're here
do.
to support you in any way
Thank
we
you.
can and collaborate with you. And hopefully, again, not only that, but help support your foundation and your mentorship program. Because I mean, what you're doing. Thank you for doing that. I mean, you're doing what your father did for you, what Carlos did for you.
Yeah.
We all have mentors, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what our Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is about. Is networking, helping each other out, but it's really about finding mentors.
Yes.
I don't
And
want to
learning
cut it
from
off,
each other.
but the show's over.
I know. I'm sorry. We gotta go. We gotta go, guys. Have a good one. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Well, there you have it, an extended reason why you got to tune in each and every time to meet our community here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.